Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Wetin be this now? You go talk, I will not the
Hello,
talk.
hello, hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I am Kathryn Olushola. Hello, everyone. I am Kathryn Olushola, and you are listening to Designstration podcast with Ufot Ubon. Yay!
All right, say the tagline.
Design plus illustration equals Designstration. Yay! You are going to cut out all this part, of course.
You don't start, okay? You started.
Of course, you're going to cut out. So, as I was saying, let me go back to. Let me just jump in. In 20. No, cut this part out as well.
Hey.
So in
What is
2020.
this?
So.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome back to the Designstration podcast. My name is Ufot Ubon, and I am your host for this podcast. And today I have with me an amazing guest. She's a writer, the one who has told many stories with her pen and papers. She has drafted and drawn from the winds, nature, even reality. And she has told stories untold, tales untold. Yeah, I mean, that's for rhyme purpose, by the way. But then, she's exceptional. She's incredible. I have read her works. And if I actually do say so myself, this is one of the best writer I know. It's no other person than the incredible Kathryn Olushola. Please give it up for Kathryn Olushola. How did that make you feel?
You pronounced my name correctly.
Yeah, exactly. I've been practicing. By the way, Kathryn and I go way back, way back. Since when? How long has it been? 2015? No,
Yeah,
no, no, not 2015. 2015.
2016.
2016, yeah, 2016. Have you been?
I've been good. Just pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
How,
good.
how have you been?
I'm alright. I've been doing well myself, thank you. Doing very well. Very, very well, thank you.
All right. That's good
And
to know.
yeah, it's good to actually do this. So, tell us what's an interesting thing about you for those who don't know you.
An interesting thing about me.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Well, firstly, we'll go by my name, which you've already mentioned.
Yeah.
My name is Olushola Oluwatosin Kathryn. Why did I have to spell it all out? But yeah, that's my name. I'm currently
Yeah.
a 500 level student of agricultural and bioresources engineering at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. I am a writer, a creative writer, and I love to do photography. I love to. What else do I love doing? I'm thinking of the other things I actually love doing. I don't know. For now, it's just photography at the top of my list. Yes. Other than that, I am always just having something to write about. Yeah.
Interesting. And how's photography coming along?
That part of me feels like a graveyard sometimes. But photography
Whoa.
has been a part of me for a very long time. I've always loved taking photographs, equally being in front of the camera and behind the camera. So yeah, I'm in the media department at church. So yeah, I
That's good.
think that helps me harness the passion I have for photography. Yeah, so I cover services sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Maybe some other time we're definitely going to talk about your journey into photography as a whole. But today, tell us. Today, we're really going to talk about your creative writing career. I have read your stories, articles, and it's actually very creative, very beautiful, very captivating. What was the inspiration behind you becoming a creative writer?
But firstly, I would like to say I was born with it. I was born with it, definitely. Because one day I realized that I could do this. Although I'd been writing since I was a child, just normal scribbles, keeping a journal and writing all sorts of, like writing basically everything that was happening in my head. And I progressed from that to reading a lot. I loved reading when growing up. I loved reading. Then after that, I began practicing what I was reading. So at first, I was writing short stories. This was in secondary school. I was writing short stories about my classmates and all of that. And then by the time I gained admission to Yaba Tech, because I did a diploma program there, the part of me that was a writer sort of died. It died. But it was towards graduation when I was leaving that I sort of picked it up. And then I just continued with it. But it was just something I loved doing. I had a blog, yes. In 2018, I opened a blog after a friend convinced me to do it. So I did that. It's still up, but not running. I go there once in a while to just post random stuff. But then I had a blog. I was writing, but not for money, not for anything really, just writing down my thoughts. And after a while, I came across someone who had passed away. This was like a few years later in 2020 when I gained admission to the University of Nigeria and I was preparing to begin schooling there. I came across a post about a an English and literary studies. Wait, what am I saying? ELS, yes, English and literary studies student who had committed suicide, and my curious self. So in 2020, when I gained admission into the University of Nigeria, I came across a post about a student who had committed suicide, and he died. He attempted it and it was successful. And being my curious self, his pictures and name were flying all over Facebook at the time. So I was just curious to know who this person was. And I found his page and I saw that he had been writing a whole lot. And I went through his Facebook friends list. I started checking the kind of people he was friends with, and I also saw that they too were writers. And I began to think to myself, Tosin, this is something that you can totally do. This is something you can totally do. Why haven't you been doing this? It's just like when you see something for the first time and something else just clicks inside of you and just gives you this nudge that you can do this. I don't know what that was, but I just kept telling myself, I can. Why haven't I been doing this? Why haven't I been doing this? So and it was not as if they were writing the most. They were writing insane theories about people first landing on the moon or something. So just basic everyday to day life. I mean, what had happened when they went out, what had happened in class, what had happened in their family home, what had happened in their own personal relationships. You get. So
Yeah.
I can do this. I mean, I have a lot of stories to tell. So I remember starting out with writing, taking a pen to a paper. I would write down the story and then I would now type it on my phone. Thinking back now, I don't know why I did that, why I was doing that, but I did that for a while. I think I still have the book. I would write down the stories that I wanted to tell. They were usually all jokes. They were all jokes. Basically, stuff that were really, really funny. Most of them were real. Most of them were fictional, totally fictional. I'll just come up with the craziest thing I could think of that would make people laugh. So I would, after writing on paper, type them on my phone, and I would post them on Facebook, and I'll get a couple of likes. I mean, and comments as well. So after that, I was writing. I kept on writing. I think, did it get to a year? Maybe 6 months, 7 months, 8 months later, I was posting on Facebook a lot. I was posting on Facebook a lot. I was also sending my stories to these online magazines who would call for submissions. I got a couple of rejection letters, not a lot, but a couple of them. And then I also got a couple of acceptance. So they'll publish my works on their website. My goal at the time was to just be on Google. I mean, I wanted it to happen so bad that when you type in Kathryn Olushola, my picture will come out. That was my goal. So I was writing, and yes, it happened. I was writing lots of stories, and I will submit. You know, when they accept your story, they would now post it on their website. So
Mm-hmm.
automatically, when you type in that name, it's going to come out. The story is going to come out. So it happened for me. I mean, I posted. I had maybe five acceptances over the years, though not just in 1 year.
Yeah.
But I've had about not a lot, because not a lot. I'm a lazy writer. All writers are lazy, by the way.
Well, some would
So
beg to differ,
okay,
but then.
I'm a writer. Of course, I'm lazy. Of course, I'm lazy. Of course, I don't write. But that happened for me. So yes, I started. It was just, maybe I wanted to be on Google. At some point, my goals kept changing. They kept changing. I wanted to be writing. So I was writing, and I was getting quite a few hundred likes on Facebook at the time. Maybe not, yes. I mean, 80 likes and like heart reactions, all of that, 50,
Mm-hmm.
70, and my followership was just increasing. For now, I think it got stuck in 2,000, aside my friends. Yeah. But that time, those were real times. This was in 2021, 2020. Yeah. But then I had people who loved what I was doing, and then they would encourage me by always commenting. I mean, they would tell me that they love how I write, that whenever they read my writings, it's almost as if they can see what is happening. And yeah,
Yeah, I
that
think
makes me feel good.
I can relate to them. Yeah.
So that's how it all started.
That's quite a journey. It's something to write home about. Yeah, it is. How do you come up with ideas to write? The whole process that entails with you writing your articles.
Oh, okay. How I come up with my stories, how the ideas come to me. Sometimes I seek for them, and sometimes they find me.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, what I mean by I seek for them, when you want to write something. Okay, when me myself I want to write something, but I don't know what to write about. I may go online and look for some writing prompts. Although I've never used any of those. Never, never. I mean, if you go
Uh-huh.
online, especially on Reddit, there are
Okay.
pages. Yes, there are pages on Reddit that are just dedicated to writing prompts. So they'll just summarize something and ask you, and then you would have to develop a story about it. That's just what that is.
Oh, I see. I
Oh
see. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but I've not really used those. I think there was a time I downloaded this whole PDF for writing prompts, and I never ever use it. But that's one way to get ideas for writing. But then there are lots of what's it now, topics to explore while writing. For me, I'm a creative writer, so I like to meddle with romance, thrillers, comedy, and whatnot. So there's usually something to write in that regard. There's usually
Mm-hmm.
something to write about in that regard. But for when it comes to me, it's like, I don't know, I would not want to call it like a vision, but yes, for those who believe in visions, in having visions, I think that's how it comes to me. Although mine can be used. prompted sometimes by seeing something. So I could just see a person and a whole story would, should I say, download into my brain just like that, just like that. That's how it happens. The whole story, and it's like in the in a flash. Yes, in a flash. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to. But this,
in a jiffy.
yes, these scenarios do not happen all the time. I think the last time I experienced it was when I was back in school. I was on my way to school. I was on my way to class rather, and I was walking past this woman who was selling okpa, and I just had a flash of ideas just from her. I mean
Mm.
everything, and but I did not put it into writing at all. I have even forgotten what it was all about. But that was my last memory of of being in that kind of space. So I was just on my own. I was just not as if I was looking for something to write about. But I saw her and it just came to me. But I did not put it down in writing. So yes, it comes like that. And then challenges of life can be used as good inspirations, especially heartbreak.
Hmm. Wow.
Yes, heartbreaks, perfect. Um, it gives perfect scope for imagination.
Whoa. That's a creative way
So,
to put it.
yes, falling in love, yes, and also having your heart broken. Perfect recipe for a beautiful story. Even heartbreak stories can be beautiful.
Disclaimer: I don't recommend that as a perfect. Just to throw that out there.
Yeah, but you could bring beauty out of anything. You could bring beauty.
Yeah.
I remember my
Uh
last
huh.
heartbreak. I wrote a story on it.
Whoa.
It was beautiful. It was actually beautiful. I painted it. Uh, I painted it and made sure it was beautiful. So yes, that's how they come to me.
Truly, it's actually blissful to see that as a writer you can create this beautiful piece out of very many broken pieces. You just match them together and
Uh-huh.
then create about this beautiful art, and it's that is relatable and that others can read and they can see themselves through the lenses of your pen. It's pen don't have lenses, but then you get the idea. But it's just blissful to see that creative writer
Yes.
can do that. When you say you're a creative writer, do you want to shed more light on that? Basically, ghostwriters are those who they write and they don't get credit for that, right? Am I
Uh-huh.
right on that?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so,
uh-huh.
and I don't think creative writer is in that sphere, but then how would you explain, you know, you being a creative writer?
Okay. For starters,
Mm-hmm.
a creative writer can also be a ghostwriter. I mean, a ghostwriter is just like a job title. So let's say it's just like a job title. Let's say it's just like a company, right? And in a company, you have the manager, you have the assistant manager, you have the auditor, you have the HR, you have all of that. So let's just have it in mind that that's what a ghost writer, yes, can be. So now, me myself being a creative writer, I could also be a ghostwriter. Someone else who is a content writer could also be one. Someone who is an academic writer could also be one. Someone who is a professional writer, a journalistic writer, all of that, they could all come and apply for that company to be a ghostwriter as well. Did that make sense?
Yes, I wasn't clear on the question. I think I wasn't clear on the question. What I'm trying to say is specifically, how would you describe a ghostwriter? Sorry. How would you describe a creative writer to be different from, say, a content writer and right journalist writer, just as you mentioned, an academic writer? So specifically, what makes someone a creative writer?
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So a creative writer would adopt the use of literary tropes. Now, literary tropes, I don't know the basic definition, but a trope in literature could be. um, friends to lovers troop, billionaire troop, stuff like that. Just basically, I think they will fall under genres, but not under that umbrella, I could say. Maybe like down, down, down there. But if you pick up a book and yes, this is a romance story. But what are the tropes in it? What are the kind of who are the kinds of people who are going to fall in love? Are they going to be absolute strangers? Are they going to be enemies to lovers? Are they going to be friends to lovers? Do you get? Is it going to be an arranged marriage? Is that how they'll fall in love? So those are the tropes. Is the main character going to be a billionaire or is it going to be poor? Is someone going to be pregnant? Is there going to be a divorce? Those are the tropes in it.
Aha, I get.
Yes, yes. So a creative writer. Now, if you're an academic writer, nothing concerns you with literary tropes. All right. What you're writing about are academic works. You're writing about school books. Well, a creative writer would focus more on character development, on a narrative craft, and also, poetry, poetics, stuff like that. Do you understand? So,
Yes, yes.
a person who is a journalistic writer has no business with poetry. That so a creative writer falls under that category. Although you could say a person who writes poetry is a poet, but they all fall under creative writing because you're creating something out of nothing. That's more like it even. You're creating something out of nothing.
Out of
An
nothing.
academic writer would be creating something out of already existing sources, right? So also a research writer, right? But
Yeah,
a creative writer, they are basically forming new words, non-existent words, of course. A creative writer would also be a non-fiction writer as well. But it's just about telling narratives in a literary kind of way.
I see. I guess
Yes,
that's what earned them the title, right? Quote, creative writers,
yeah,
because,
yeah.
they're actually creative in themselves. I've known Kathryn for a while, and we told her ahead of time to actually write out a very short poem story like for us. And she did, and we're glad she actually did. That's not all. I actually had to pressure her to record her voice reciting her own poem. So she sent in the audio version because this is a podcast and our audience may not be able to, read it. This particular episode is strictly audio. So she had to record her voice and send in the poem. And it's titled Friendship Proposal. Enjoy it.
The proposal I sent to you had sentences like, "This is Kathryn Olushola. I've been meaning to do this since the first time I heard you speak in church. I could listen to you speak for days. I'd like to be friends with you. This is a friendship proposal." Your reply contained lines like, "I am deeply humbled and truthfully fascinated by your words. Degree of intentionality. I am not a dogmatic Christian or fellow. I am pleased to make friends with you." It started innocently, like children who had met for the first time and kicked things off, and kept meeting, and kept meeting, and kept meeting. A month later, you began to excite me. Sentimental emotions grew. The ripple effect of your messages was a smile on my face and a skip in my heart. Pastor always says, conversations late into the night is how people fall in love. I didn't take his hidden, and so I fell. Like a water cascading down the mountain steep, I fell for you. While I fell, your foot remained firm. It didn't matter what I did because you were in love with someone else.
Chai.
Wow. Just wow. Just wow. Just wow. So, I remember you saying heartbreak is one of those ways creative writers get their unique inspiration. I mean, I know I said I don't recommend it, but then, what's the story behind this poem?
Okay, first off, I did not say heartbreak is how creative writers, not all of them, not all of them though. But it gives
Okay.
perfect scope. It gives perfect scope for the imagination. That's all I would say
So,
concerning that. Not all. I don't know
was that
about
what?
all,
Yeah. Okay. So, what
but
was
for
that? What
me,
gave the perfect scope for this particular?
well, well, this is not heartbreak first of all, because I believe you someone is supposed to be committed to you before they can break your heart. So yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah.
So this is not it's not an heartbreak. It was just something that escalated. I was just feeling sad somehow, and it escalated into this. Like I said, any emotion could birth something beautiful. So what was the word now?
Also
Um
bettered.
yes, that was what inspired this poem. And also your deadline. Because you asked me to write something. You asked
Yes,
me to write
yes,
something, and then I had to come up with something, anything. So this was just
yeah.
perfect to use.
This is great. This is
Thank
great.
you.
Editing these, I listened to it over and over and over again, and it was great. It was just something. Okay, we in as much as it's going to be very difficult for many to move past this, but we have to proceed. Let's let's talk about work life balance. For you as a creative writer, how do you balance it?
So how I balance writing and schooling,
Hmm.
I, I don't balance it.
Okay, so in this case, school life balance, school work life balance.
Yeah, school work life
Yeah.
balance. Okay, 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 okay. I'm not balancing it. I would not say I am balancing it because I'm not doing that. It's just been the same. It's been the same since I started writing
Mm.
for money. It's been difficult. It's been difficult. I am always, I would not say disorganized, but I tend to let one spill into the other. So I guess I am not organized like that. But I'm organized in other aspects of my life. But writing and schooling and life, man, I don't even have a life outside writing. It's just, writing and schooling. So if I'm not being worried
Mm.
about a deadline that I have to meet up with, then I'm worried about
Yeah.
something in school. I mean, any other thing outside both of them are just, well, it's just minor, because this is what is the most important to me. So
Writing.
it has been absolutely difficult, and I am so glad that I'll be graduating in a few months. So
Yeah.
hallelujah!
Yeah.
I would have time to
Zilla to
focus
that.
more. I'll have time to focus more on writing.
Hmm. It's great. How much was your first paid gig as a creative writer?
Okay, so my first paid work, um, it was a series. I was supposed to write a 5 book series. With each book containing 10,000 words. I think that was a novella, even. Each novella is containing 10,000 words. And
Mm.
because it was my very first job, I was told that I would be paid 1.0 naira. At the time I started writing,
1.0 naira.
yes, per word. By the time,
That's 1 naira for one word.
yes, yes. One Nigerian naira, one word.
One Nigerian naira per word.
And yes, per word. So times that by
Sorry,
how
sorry,
I said,
sorry,
okay,
sorry, sorry.
okay. Let me give you
Wait.
time to digest it.
Yes, yes, please. I need water, please. Is is that still the case? Is that still the case? Sorry to just
Oh,
interject
oh
here.
no, of course not. But I haven't.
Okay.
I'm no longer in the one naira gang. I've
Wow.
elevated. Yes, I'm trying to elevate more. No, no.
Wow.
Who would try that?
Sorry, sorry. Carry on. Carry on. Carry on. I'll sip my water. Thank you.
All right, all right. So I was offered to pay one naira at the time. It just was in 2020. There were people who were earning zero point something naira, 0.5 naira, 0.6 naira per word. So me getting 1.0 naira
Wow.
per word for my first job, it was not so bad. It was not so bad.
Hmm.
But then I was really horrible. My first job was terrible. I mean, but I was fast. I think I turned in the job in a couple of days. I think I was given a week, but then I turned it in let's say 3 to 4 days. I can't really remember. But then the person who had given me the job sent the file back to me. She had edited it, and there were so many marks on it. She used Google Docs, and that time I was using this old Techno phone, Techno WX3. I will never forget it. That was what I used to write my first job, and I did not even have enough space on the phone to get Google Docs. So all I was just seeing were these marks all over the work and cancellation. But then she said she would pay me 1.1 naira because I was fast. And then she wanted
Wow.
us to even get, yeah, she wanted us to get on a Google Meet call. This person was an outsourcer. She wasn't the direct client.
Oh, I see.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So she wanted to, I did not even know what is a Google Meet. My phone cannot even carry. So the meeting never happened, but she just told me to take the corrections and all of that. I don't know. I kept improving, but she paid me 11,000 naira for that. That was my first money. I just made from pressing my phone for a couple of days. It was
Wow.
I think I was saving the money. I saved it so that I could be able to get a new phone, and I was able to do that. Although writing all of that series did not pay for the phone. I got donations here and there. Help me, help me, help me.
Wow.
But I was able to get, I was able to get a new phone from that. So that was my first pay, 11,000
Wow.
naira. For the whole book, I got 55,000 naira. And
Wow.
there was also, yes, there was also an epilogue. Because I mean, the story was so good. I came up with the outline myself. I guess the story was so good. The client asked for an epilogue for it. So I think that was it. I can't remember how many words, but
Hmm.
I guess I got more than 60,000 naira from that job. Now in this present day and age, for it to write a
Mm-hmm.
10,000 word story,
Yeah.
yeah, a 10,000 word story, that has that is a 5 book series, something like that. Hmm. How much would I even earn? Let me press my calculator.
We're not going to tell you the price now. If you want to know the real price, reach out and she's going to tell you her price for herself. How do
Yes,
you
so
speaking about pricing? How do you price for your work as a creative writer? Is it really per word, like literally? So if I
yes,
write three
literally.
words, I love you,
Mhm.
um,
Yes,
I it's
if you write I love you, that would be three
mhm.
naira in 2020. 3 naira,
Wow.
and they'll send it straight to your bank account, and you see it live money. So easy.
Is this really how writers price, like generally? Honestly, I didn't know. I don't know. Or is this Nigerian way
No,
writers
no, no,
price?
it's not Nigeria. Of course, in other countries, let's
It's
say in
like
the
the
US,
industry
for
standard.
example. Okay, let's
Yeah.
let's let's talk about Fiverr. Fiverr is this
Okay.
online marketplace
I know
uh,
Fiverr. Yeah.
for digital kinikon.
Digital creatives.
So when it comes to writing over there, they also charge per word. And I've been told that no job, nobody, how do I put this now? Nobody will give you less than one. Is it 1 cent or $1? Wow, no, 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 1 cent. Yeah, yeah. Nobody will give you less than 1 cent or word on Fiverr,
Wow.
even as a beginner. That's what I've heard. I've not confirmed because I don't get my jobs there. People get jobs from there and then they outsource to me.
I see. I've never really sat down or even, go on to research how writers get paid and how they charge for their work. So it's this is news to my ear, to be honest. Right, hearing the rates rather. Next question. Next question. How can you build a community amongst an audience that don't enjoy reading?
Well, by creating, translating the written content into other mediums that they'll find appealing. Maybe it could be through digital art, just like what you do. But if a person does not like reading, trust me, not a lot of people like reading. I have a lot of friends who don't like reading, and there's nothing you do that will make them enjoy reading. It's just not their thing. So trying to
Mm-hmm.
force them to, when they're looking for something, they would, I believe they'll be able to go all the way. Take for example, someone is trying to go into all this, let's say, crypto marketing.
Yeah.
Yes, it would be a necessity for them to read books on cryptocurrency and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they will be as zealous to now go into reading novels. For what? What does it bring to the table for them?
Mm-hmm.
So people will do what they find interesting. Now, for the question for me, building a community amongst people who do not enjoy reading,
Yeah.
I think I would, if it is absolutely necessary for me to do that, I would try and translate my readings into other forms that they would love. Movies these days, they were all words written on a script that was translated into that. So
Yeah.
you could play out the book for them instead, or you could make the book into comics, that sort of stuff.
Mm.
That's that's
Yeah.
the that's the best solution, I think,
That's beautiful.
appropriate here.
Aside friendship proposal that we just listened to, has there been any other of your works that you actually um, translated into audio formats?
Um, I don't know if this counts, but one time in 2022, I wrote this
Mm-hmm.
poem. It was a pigeon poem, and I was opportune to perform it on stage. Now, first of all, I would like to put it out there that I am more of a writer than a poet, more of a creative writer, more of a storyteller, so to say, than a
Than
poet. Yes, a poet. I don't.
okay,
I do poetry once when it comes to me, but that is not my focus in this whole writing industry. But one
I
time I was
see.
called upon to perform a pigeon poem because at a certain point in my life, I submitted a pigeon poem to a certain magazine. Okay, the Muse Journal at the University of Nigeria, ELS. It was founded by Chinua Achebe. So, and I won. I won the prize for pigeon poetry. It came as a surprise. So the following year they wanted to host a, an open mic event, and they asked me to present a pigeon poem there. I could not turn it down because normally I like to be in front of crowds. I like to be doing something in front of crowds. Yeah, I hate it when I'm idle in the middle of a crowd, but put me out there in front of the crowd, and I just love that. So now I had to think of something to write about, and I ended up writing this pigeon poem. It was also about how I had gotten my heart broken. and it was in pidgin. So when I was performing it on stage, man, I got lots of shares. I got a lot of shares, and that is the only audio, aside what I had sent to you. That is the only. It was even a video. I don't even have the audio, but that's the only time. Yes, I've had to spell out my writings and have it recorded.
I
Other
see.
times, it's just in forms of short stories, forms of novels, in forms of prose, stuff like that.
That's great. That's great. Well, we'll be looking forward to it. Actually, do more. I think you should do more of uh audio version of your work, because this particular one is really great. The friendship proposal we all listen to is very, very great.
Thank you, but I don't think I have such a. I don't think I have a nice. Um, there was something I wanted to say in my head now. A nice talkable voice. I don't think I have the voice for doing stuff like that.
Well,
But
still
but thanks
do,
for the
still do, still
recommendation.
do. Who's your favorite writer? Who are your favorite writers? And what are some interesting books or articles that you've read?
Okay, first off, I love John Green. I love John Green. Absolutely love him. And then I love Chimamanda and who else? Those are the top two on my list. I
Mm,
read. Oh, and then Maya Angelou. I love her. I absolutely love her. And then Karen Roberts. That how to even pronounce her name. Karen Roberts. Yes, she's an amazing writer.
wow,
I grew up reading her books. Those are the ones that come to mind now. I really just read anything I see. I don't usually take account of who wrote this, who wrote that.
I see.
And it was during my formative years that I read. I used to read a lot, but not anymore because there's no time. There's no time for that.
Closing thoughts. Closing thoughts. What advice will you give to aspiring writers who are listening to this podcast?
All right. If you are an aspiring writer, I would like to believe that first of all you love writing. You absolutely love writing, and before you started looking for ways to get money from writing, you were already writing just for fun. I mean, just for fun. So that's the first step. You have to love writing because when you start writing for fun, it's not going to be all rosy anymore. You're not going to love it all the way. You're going to get jobs that would absolutely break you. So if that passion is not there, then you may just fall out. So first of all, you have to absolutely love what you do. Then secondly, you have to follow the right crowd. So as a writer, you have no business being in the circle of people who drive cars, who hire
Do you mean writers
speedboats.
now? Uh, they use horse. What are you trying to say?
No,
Hmm.
I'm talking about people who okay, but I don't want to sound somehow. But you should get
Mhm.
my okay. Let's imagine
Yeah.
you're a writer, but then you always like to go to bus parks and hang out with all the drivers.
What if you want to get inspiration from them?
Exactly, that works. That works as well. But
Okay.
that should not be your circle of friends. That should not be. If you turn to your left, it should not be. You should not be seeing a bus driver, except maybe you have plans to own a company, a transport company. But if you turn to your left and your right, you should be seeing people who are like you and people who you
Mhm.
aspire to be like. I mean, on your feed on social media, you should be seeing, you know, writers, not musicians. So you just follow the right crowd. Follow writers, follow readers, and follow publishing agencies. Just see what is happening there so that if you are sleeping, the kinds of dream you'll be dreaming about are writing. You wake up in the morning writing. On your phone, first thing you see writing. That's if you are really serious. I'm not saying bombard yourself with it. But take for example myself. I'm trying really hard to to strengthen my relationship with God, right? So now that is why my profile picture, sorry, my wallpaper is something, is a scripture. My lock screen is a scripture. My people I follow on social media, pastors, I mean, spirit cocoa people, those stuff. Anywhere I turn to, I want to be seeing Bible up and down so that because I will not get tired of it because I have a burning, I have a, a real passion to follow that way. All right.
Mhm.
So you're an aspiring writer, you should be following the right crowd. I mean, Facebook I don't know about now because I haven't been there in a long while. But Facebook those time was really great for writers. I mean, you follow lots of people who would write, and then you could just read them. You read a lot. That's how you would start. Read a lot. If you've done that, I want to assume that you're already writing. I want to assume that you already have good works, but maybe I shouldn't assume too much. Because the other day, a classmate called me on the phone and asked me to talk to his cousin who wanted to be a writer. And then she mentioned that she had been writing with pen and paper. Please don't do that, except you just do it for fun. There's no way. If you have listened from the beginning of this podcast till now, you understand that I am a person that does not like stress. Right, UV?
Well, you need to see her in real life to verify that actually. For those
I
of
like
us that have,
I like
let's
stress in real
let's
life.
let's go.
But please, please, why are you writing with pen and paper when you type on your phone? I did that. Okay, I did that, but because I did not know a way, I did not know this was better. But you should start typing on your phone. If you have a laptop, very good. Start typing, start learning how to type very fast. And turn to a secretary that is just pack, 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 up and down. You know how typewriters, typewriting machine would sound. Just if you see me typing, that's how I am now. And I'm still trying to develop my speed. Make sure you're a pro at it. Don't look at your keyboard when you're typing. I'm not saying it is a criteria to be a creative writer. But know your keys, yeah. Let them be a part of you. And you may be asking, what will I be writing about? Write about stuff. Give yourself, like I said, there are writing prompts everywhere. Writing prompts everywhere on the internet. Just Google writing prompts, and then you see something that you could just write a story about. Now, if you if you've done that and you followed my second step, which is having writers around you, vetting what you have written will be way easier because if you could just send it to your writer friend, please read this thing for me, or you send it to your friend who likes to write, who likes to read rather. Please read it for me. What do you think? Be open to people's opinion. No, please be open to people's. Very very important. Don't feel, oh, I got A1 in English language, nobody can correct me. No, be open to people's correction. Always be willing to learn new things. All right. Now what else? Then get the right writing softwares on your phone. You should be thinking about downloading Grammarly for your keyboard. You should be thinking about
Your
downloading.
advice not a finish.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry,
your
please.
advice. No, that's fine. That's fine. You people need
You
to
should-
meet Catherine.
okay.
I'm not
I'm
calling you Catherine.
sorry.
You people need to
Okay.
meet Catherine in real life so you would know who she is. Yes, go on,
I'm
go on.
telling you, I want you to have the right foundation. Please, if you are listening,
That's
download
good.
Pure Writer. Pure Writer is absolutely amazing. Best writing software for me, for me. I don't use Google Docs to type or WPS. No, those are ancient. I'm so sorry. But Pure Writer, just go
Kai.
to your Play Store, whatever iOS you are using. What am I saying? whatever whatever phone you use, yeah. Just do that. Get the right writing software. Read a lot. Then if you've done all of that and you now say, okay, I want to start writing for money, you should now calm down. Don't rush. Those things you've been writing that you see like they are good, publish them, send them to magazines around everywhere, both Nigeria, anywhere you see call for submission. That's what I used to do. I'll just go on Google, pack, 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 pack. Writing magazine submission. you just see different flyers, call for submission, submit your clinic one, submit your that one, submit your that. Just send them everywhere. Just be sending. Like someone that's applying for just be sending up and down. Some will accept, some will reject. But that way you're putting your name out there. All right. Now you also have to diversify your writing. Don't just stick to one niche, although it is good. But in context of niche now that I'm talking about, let's say your environs. If you want to make money from writing, you have to learn how to write about the lives of people living outside Nigeria. You have to be able to write about Indians, about Americans, about Europeans, stuff like that. Right? You also need to be able to write about the fish. Is it fish farmer? What am I saying? The fisherman in your village that is paddling with his canoe. You have to be able to write about anything because that's the way you're going to get jobs. All right. Now, when you've written those stuffs, you see that they are really good. Then you create your portfolio. It could just be on a Google Drive that has the links to all your stuffs that you've written. I mean, just come prepared. Just come prepared because for writing now, it is very. I love writing for one reason. No, not for one reason. That was so wrong. But I love writing for this reason. As compared to, let's say, for example, a web developer. Developer, I believe, is someone who builds websites. Now, if they want to apply for a job, they'll ask you, okay, send your CV. All right, your CV has to, or send your samples. You have to send them samples of websites you've created before. But for you as a writer, you just send them samples of something that you yourself you have written. And because you love writing and because it just comes so naturally to you, you can send it's so easy. It's just writing words. It's so easy. It's just so easy. As opposed to being a project manager who has to send them. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain all of this. And then also another thing, if you want to really make a living from writing, you have to also be a part of these writing organizations. Just apply to be an intern, maybe an editor. All right. Are you still there? Are you listening? You
I'm
could
here.
really
I'm
start
here.
you yourself, you could start a writing career because I've noticed that you type really well. I mean you put your commas and your full stop at appropriate places. So
Thank you. I try,
yes, you're
but I'm not
welcome.
the writing type. I don't write.
So I don't know. I'm thinking now if I were the person listening, what kind of questions would I still have? Because I want to answer everything.
You
Um
can't answer everything in one
okay,
episode.
I'm so
We will
sorry.
come back. You will come back. You will come back.
All right. That's all my fans.
Only fans.
That's all my fans.
God.
Uh, I hope I've been able to convince you all and not
Mm-hmm.
confuse you all that I'm not so bad.
Can you imagine?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
good
I'm
God.
apologizing.
Good
Include this
God.
part too. I am absolutely sorry. But this is the reality of writers in this day and age. Oh my god, I need to shut up now. I need to shut up.
Thank you very much for being on the podcast, Kathryn Olushola Oluwatosin. It's actually beautiful having you
Yeah,
on here.
thank you for having
And
me.
yeah, and I really look forward to having you again on the podcast.
Oh,
Yes, I do. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to thank you for listening. And I will catch you guys in the very next episode. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this episode on the Designstration podcast with Ufot Ubon. If you enjoyed this episode, kindly leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts. You can also suggest a topic or ask a question by filling out the form in the description below. We also appreciate when you share this podcast with friends and other creatives, even as you make plans to join us again next time, as we bring you more insightful conversations like this. Design plus illustration equals Designstration.